Good evening, friends, and welcome to another edition of Crime Time with DutyRon and Ed Wallace. You guys know the drill. We're retired New York City police detectives, and we're also 9/11 World Trade Center first responders. If you like all things true crime related from the police detective's perspective, you're in the right spot. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, so you'll get all things DutyRon and Ed Wallace when we go live or upload another video. Tonight, I have a treat for you. We are going to talk about the search for Sebastian Rogers by EquuSearch Midwest. We know our good friends Dave and Twila, who represent EquuSearch Midwest, and the team were down in Hendersonville, Tennessee. This time last week, a week ago today, they were on day 2. On Thursday last week, they were down there in their second day complete searching for Sebastian Rogers. We have no answers to the questions about what happened to Sebastian Rogers the morning of February 26th, 2024. Did he just walk out of that house with no shoes on, leaving his cell phone behind with a flashlight? Is this, in fact, the true statement? Are the parents telling us the truth? We do not know. The only people that know are whoever is involved with the disappearance of this young 15-year-old autistic boy. And tonight we're going to get into the search. We're not going to get into the criminality, the online rumors that are swirling. We are just going to be talking about the search efforts that were done by EquuSearch early on in this case and later on. But I want to just say a special thank you to you, the Patreon supporters, the channel members, the replay viewers, the subscribers, the folks who positively engage in this community. You are what makes it a great place. So I give thanks and praise to you, the live chatters, the replay viewers, and the folks who, again, positively engage and have respect for the victims and their families. Let's take a listen to our good friend Nick Mears from a Nashville affiliate. He did some coverage on this. I want to just listen to what he had to say. He talks about some searching and some other issues. So let's take a listen to Nick. This was just from a couple of hours ago, folks.
Authorities say they will not rule out foul play, but they will not say that there is a criminal investigation into the Sebastian Rogers case. Why not? Well, I talked to District Attorney Ray Whitley about what it might take to perhaps make an arrest. Sebastian disappeared from his Hendersonville home more than 6 weeks ago. Since then, professionals and volunteers searching for the 15-year-old have found nothing, no trace. Have you found evidence of Sebastian yourself when you've been out there? No. So how does a teen with autism walking from a home barefoot in the middle of the night just with a flashlight disappear? Experts say children rarely simply vanish completely on their own. Could others be involved in Sebastian's case?
We have not cleared anyone, but we have absolutely no evidence to support foul play.
How many people in the chat, by a show of hands, put a 1 in the chat if you're like thoroughly frustrated with the statement that we have no evidence to show criminality? Listen, it may very well be true, but I can put a 1 in the chat. I'm frustrated over that. You're talking about a teen, a 15-year-old autistic boy who went on, went missing and left out of his house 46 days ago. 46 days, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm with you on the number ones. And if you feel like this is okay and you could, it's an easy pill to swallow, you can put a number 2 in the chat. If you feel it's okay. I mean, I feel like I don't want to get information that's false. I don't want this police executive to tell me things that are not true. But in the best judgment of keeping the investigation close to the vest, even if they were on to somebody, he wouldn't lead on that he was, hey, look, we're closing in on the stepfather. We're closing in on the father. We're closing in on the mom. They're not going to reveal that. They're going to keep it close to the vest. But he's looking right into the mic, right into the camera and saying, I'm going to just put it back a little bit. Frustrating.
Could others be involved in Sebastian's case?
We have not cleared anyone, but we have absolutely no evidence to support foul play.
though they certainly do have theories. So what would it take to call this now a criminal investigation? General Whitley tells me there has to be something: physical evidence, blood, Sebastian's clothing, a flashlight, or security video, or an eyewitness implicating someone. But at this point, the simple fact is there's nothing. But that's not to say that can't change. And General Whitley says he stays in contact with authorities, ready to prosecute if it does. Sumner County EMA Director Ken Widener says his crews are on call 24/7, ready to go when investigators contact them with new leads on potential evidence.
And anytime the sheriff's office indicates or TBI indicates where you've got an area of interest that we need to search, we're ready to go.
You can see the sophisticated mapping system showing the ground they've covered. Sadly, to date, no confirmed sightings and no indication whatsoever of what happened to Sebastian. Authorities still assume that Sebastian is alive and that he will be found safe. If that's not the case, then his body must be found. Without it or any other physical evidence, we may never know what happened to the teen. Nick Barris.
So there you have it. Frustrating. 46 days into this search and we have nothing. Okay, listen, if there is evidence that will lead them to bringing charges, they're going to go forward with it. But you need a lot to go. You just can't go based on rumors or speculation. You can't go based on what you feel and then contradictory statements. You need a lot more than that. Let's get into the search part of this. EquuSearch Midwest spent 2 days and, unbeknownst to a lot of us, spent a lot of time reviewing footage from drones and so forth. So we're going to bring in Twila Sisco and Dave Rader, EquuSearch Midwest Director. Dave, thank you for joining.
Always a pleasure, Ron.
Yep. How you doing tonight, Big Dave?
Can't complain. Cannot complain. Always a pleasure for you and the family, I should say.
Yeah, the community, the DutyRon family. Crime Time with DutyRon and Ed Wallace. We're swelling up to close to 300,000 subscribers. So it's always great to be connected to such a great group like EquuSearch Midwest, because searching for the missing is something that we are very passionate about here. And we like to do this with dignity and respect. And that's what you guys do. Twila is here joining us live as well. So Twila Sisco, search coordinator, drone supervisor. She wears many hats, Dave. Twila, thank you for joining.
Thank you for joining. How are you, Twila? I'm great.
I got a little echo coming from you.
Glad to be here. Hey, let me turn it off.
Okay.
Is that better?
I'm going to see you in a second. I'm hearing it twice. Is it, Dave, are you hearing the same thing?
I am.
Yes. All right. So we got to try to fix that echo part.
What about now?
It's still doing it.
I'll leave and come back.
All right.
You're through the car. Just turn it off. Turn the car off.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna mute her for a second. Dave, I wanted to go to you. We just played this piece from the Nashville affiliate, our good friend Nick. He's been covering this case so strongly. And Dave, you guys were called back in by TBI as per Twila and our conversations. Can you just tell our listening audience a little bit about, and I'm going to step back once Twila comes and we'll go back to the beginning, but Sebastian Rogers, how does this all come about? How do they reach out, or how does this all work with TBI or whatever agency it is that reached out to you guys and you got the ball rolling? How did you guys come to coming back for those 2 days and search with them?
Actually, it all started with Shane up with the drones. He has TBI as a customer.
Shane in Canada?
Shane in Canada, correct.
Okay.
And he reached out to Twila and put her in contact with the TBI agent. They only wanted the technology. They didn't want to do the foot search, the ground pounding, or anything else. They wanted to throw the drones, the technology at this first. So that's why the guys went down, flew this with Twila, ran through all of the imagery. They used the M3M, which is the ground disturbance, and then they also used the thermal. and found nothing. And they were down there for, I think, 2 days also. And then after that was taken care of, then Twila was, of course, then she's the search coordinator on this. She was the one who was in contact with the main TBI agent, and at that point in time, let her know probably about a week to a week and a half prior what what they wanted to accomplish in the future. So it basically took them about probably about a week and a half in order to put this last search on with other agencies around in and around Tennessee. We were the only search team that was invited into the search area because of the technology that we have.
Now, you're talking about volunteer search teams, right? Because we did see a lot of fire department search and rescue. Those are county, adjoining counties or people from within. I also saw a Hendersonville SWAT team, a lot of police and fire. But you, EquuSearch Midwest, were the only volunteer search group that was invited in at that search last week, correct?
That is correct. Yes, everybody else was first responders. We were the only outside organization that are volunteer that was invited in, and that was only because of our technology that we have at hand.
Right. And there was there was ground searching and anything from the air at that time, or was all the drone searching done prior to this?
No, I mean, we went back over quite a few things. Danny came down, one of our drone pilots. Tony couldn't make it, unfortunately, because of work, and Twila, and again, Twila, was multitasking. She was not only spearheading the whole thing as far as for us, but she was also running imagery for the drones, and then we also had the water covered by our remote controlled sonar unit. We did literally 43 ponds plus in 2 days time, and that's a lot. That was an understatement. That's a lot.
Let me stop you right there. Hold on. Did you say that EquuSearch Midwest searched 43 ponds in 2 days?
Yes, sir. Yeah, 43, and that was not only droning them, but also using the sonar unit in each one of those ponds that were accessible, and also that actually some of them didn't have water in them, so we were kind of reconning as we go. But yeah, there were some that weren't even on the map that was marked that we found, and we went ahead and did those. So there was 43 plus ponds that we did. Absolutely.
Now let me ask you, because I want to add Twila back in. I think she's given the thumbs up. I see her in the green room there. Dave, were there law enforcement, the local, state, or federal TBI, or whatever it was there anybody assigned to you guys to help you safely move about to your search zones? Because we heard some of these rumors from the United Cajun Navy getting death threats and so forth. But were you guys under the auspice of, say, a law enforcement team or something, for the listening audience that might not know how this works?
Each team, again, law enforcement was represented by law enforcement. But as far as our team was, we had a total of 3 TBI agents, one for the drone and one for the water, the sonar. And then we also had a floater at the time also. So we were constantly, and it wasn't because of our safety. That there's, nobody's wanting to kill somebody trying to find a 15-year-old child. I don't know where the hell that comes from, but there's nobody threatening anybody. Why they put the TBI agents with us is to secure anything that if we did find anything, we had law enforcement right there with comms, with constant communication back to the command center. So that's the reason why that happened like it did with the EMA putting the TBI agents on with us.
Dave, you know what I love about you is you knew that slang term, the comms, that people might not understand it, and you said with the communication. So perfect. Thank you for that. I appreciate you, brother. And you've been doing this a long time. You're not a rookie when it comes to searching and coordinating and doing things with law enforcement. Also, too, I think another big factor, it's not one of the main factors, but the reason they send law enforcement with the private search groups or the volunteer search groups is just in case there's indigent wildlife that comes out. And now you guys, if you aren't armed, you got armed kind of basic security there for you to help you guys. If somebody gets bit by a snake, there's somebody in their backpack probably has a snake, a venom kit, anti-venom kit, and so forth. So it's for safety as well as for, like what you just said, the reasons you just stated.
Right.
In the clip that I showed, there was some mapping and stuff, but I want to bring Twila back in. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed right now that Twila got it right. Twila, how are we doing?
I can hear, I can see, and I got it sideways, so I hope it's all good.
See me, feel me. Twila, let's get into it. That's enough of me singing. Listen, I'm again, I've got the shoulder rig on, and I went to my first day of physical therapy, so I'm feeling a little sore, but not too bad tonight, folks. Twila, you heard Dave and I talking. 43 ponds. What type of searching ground-wise? And you are the search coordinator. Like, how do you guys document the ground coverage that you do? And I know it's assignments that are given out, but people want to know, like, what's the rhythm and rhyme to success with EquuSearch Midwest and searching for the missing? How do you guys do this?
So we have different types of, if it's a search that we're doing, we have different type of resources that help us out with putting us in different areas. Dave is very, very, very good at looking at a map and saying, okay, from my experience, this would be a good area, that would be a good area. Under when we went in for Sebastian's case, we were under EMA is the one who coordinated the search, but we went in under TBI, and they had areas marked in sections and had different groups going into different sections. They gave us radios that only the agencies and the officials that was there with us, I mean, we were the only ones that was able to, communicate with each other through that radio. And our assignment, like Dave said, was the technology end of it. Like we had spoke before, that me, Tony, and Danny had went in a couple weeks ago and did the drone end of it. And then this time we went in, we had a couple of ground pounders, foot searchers, and we took the sonar. Those girls rocked it. I mean, they covered these ponds in 2 days. And then Danny, what we did for checks and balances is me and Danny would go with the drone, and we would put the drone up over these areas that had water, and then the girls would go, and then the other 2 girls that was doing the sonar, they would go over to these ponds, and me and Danny and the 2 sonar girls, we were in constant contact with each other with, for an example, this pond is dried up, or this one that's marked as a pond is a swimming pool. And they had all the other officials that was there marked off sections, and they was putting people in those sections. And like Dave said, we had 3 agents with us with the TBI. There was no outsiders, general public. We were the only search team there. There was K9 teams there. This was a really big search, and I can tell you, with me and Danny and the sonar girls traveling throughout the day to get to our different areas, there was not one area around that child's house or even in that neighborhood that did not have people in it. And Dave can back me up with that. I mean, there was people, officials everywhere. The FBI was there, the TBI, every county surrounding that area was there.
Yeah. And, people are saying in the chat, and some folks, I've heard this on social media, they should search the house. They've been in and out of that house. And listen, if there was any evidence or any possibility that he was there in that house, they would know about it. Did you see on this secondary search, which was just the last week, and I feel bad, Danny was here for like 5-10 minutes in the down below, but I guess he had to go to work. if he comes back, we'll put him on quick because he was doing a lot of the drone stuff. But I know you could speak for him. But hopefully Danny could come back just for a couple of minutes because I was just about to add him on and I saw him tap out. EquuSearch has the team. Did you guys see dogs at any time while you were down there? The news showed like bloodhound. It looked like a couple of canines. Twila, I'll go to you because I know, Dave, you're all over the place. I was looking for you and I was misidentifying you with other people and I got all screwed up and I apologize, Dave. But Twila, did you see dogs? Was this like, did they throw as Dave would say, the kitchen sink at this thing? 200 plus people there?
Oh, there was a lot there. So it was kind of funny because I had did the call out to our teammates that was going to be there, and I had told them that I wanted them. We were going to all meet in the hotel lobby at like 6 or 6:30. Well, last minute, I told them, I was like, we got to meet in the lobby at like 5:30. And the day that we went, everybody was traveling through bad weather, so people, we staggered in, got there, whatever. It was a restless night because we can't sleep the night before search. It's just too much going on. So we met and then we got to the command area where they had us staging at, and we got there maybe 10-15 minutes ahead of time. And when we pulled up, let me tell you something, they had people there. Everybody that was there was official. They either had TBI, FBI jackets. I even shook hands with the mayor. The mayor was even there. And
Wow.
as far as canines, I don't want to say exactly how many canines, but I can tell you it was more than I can count on both of my hands that was there. So yes, I never seen the same dog twice, and I don't think Dave did either.
Hey, Dave, any thoughts on that?
Again, they absolutely threw everything at this, and it got to on day two, and just to give law enforcement and to put any rest of they're not doing their job or this, that, or the other, that's complete BS. Only for the simple reason I physically seen these guys literally in a front yard that was just mowed, and they were doing line searches in that. That's how meticulous that they were looking for any, and I mean any minute piece of evidence to give us a direction.
Wait a minute. Did you just say they were searching freshly mowed grass?
Yes, sir.
So
they put some of our ground pounders in with TBI in a field. Now it could have easily been cleared with a drone. But here's the thing, and I understand their process on this, Ron, is that they didn't want to miss anything. So you could miss a piece of his glasses, or something of minute like that. So they wanted to make damn sure.
A ripped piece of his shirt.
100%.
A ripped piece of his pants.
Yeah. So I mean, I understand it looks funny, and people probably sit there and think, why the hell are they in somebody's front yard that mowed this grass 3 times since he's been gone? But that's you don't have a direction, so you don't want to miss anything as far as if his glasses fell off of him,
right?
Just something as small as that. So they really did a bang up job.
This is reassuring, Dave, for me, because when you go on to Facebook and social media, you hear people saying, oh, they're not really doing much. They don't really care about finding this kid, that they're doing a sloppy job. But this is, I mean, you were there and you saw this yourself. I have up on the screen a picture of, it looks like some volunteers here in the red vest. And here is a law enforcement. I see a Glock of some sort, semi-auto, and a shield right here. Flashlights, radio, comms, as you call it, backpack with probably equipment in it. And then there's a young lady also down lower in this search area off of a highway, off of a roadway, a 2-way road. This stuff is, I mean, it's fascinating to see the amount of resources that are being thrown at this. And it makes me wonder, like when I hear people say, oh, they're not doing anything and this more could be done and blah, 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 blah. And it's got the vibes of this one and that one. Dave, I wanted to ask you, is there similarities to searches? or are each individual case that you go on have their own intricacies? Are there some things in all of these, like the way people are saying, oh, this resembles Summer Wells, this resembles, I mean, can you put that into perspective here, Dave?
It's kind of tough, but it's, there are similarities. I mean, in the search world, it's not cookie cutter because you do have different scenarios, you do have different terrain. So I mean that there's similar. The similarity is that we have an individual missing. From the search end of it is where it gets tricky, because then you have to figure out, okay, where did that person, where was he or she last seen from? And then you're looking at what resources do you need. There's some resources that you don't need. There's some that you need more of. So again, the only similarity that there is that it's an individual that's missing that needs to be found. It's how you go about the process of elimination, you might say, on how it's done and executed.
Right. The reason I brought Summer Wells up is because it's Tennessee, right? And it's close, it's similar. And, we can, there's a couple of other cases from Tennessee. I mean, people start to wonder, is TBI, is the agencies in Tennessee, dragging their feet on these things? And this is a prime example of that. They're not. It's just this sometimes is a game of luck and of finding. We look at Dylan Rounds. You guys were out there for 5 days in the middle of the desert, searching and searching, and it looks like he was right underneath people's feet at certain particular moments. And you can't cover every ounce of every thing that, human error or it's a massive on-taking. So people don't really get a good idea of what it's like because they're not there actually doing it. Let's see if Twila is back. Is everything all right, Twila? All right, good. I wanted to show this clip for the audience, and I wanted Dave or Twila to take over just maybe a little bit of a discussion about the mapping that's done in these types of large-scale searches to keep it organized, to keep it all in continuity and have the ducks in order, so to speak. So let me just play this little clip back again.
Ready to prosecute if it does. Sumner County EMA Director Ken Widener says his crews are on call 24/7, ready to go when investigators contact them.
All right, so many people might ask, what is this? What are we looking at on this big master board inside the command center? So I'm going to put you guys back on the screen. Dave and Twila are laughing a little bit. Dave, you're the director of EquuSearch Midwest. Who do you want to take this question and explain this? You or Twila?
I was like, pick me. I knew he was going to pick me anyway. So what you see on that screen is our big coloring page. No, I'm just kidding. Let me be serious. So what that is we use a program called CalTopo. We use it to track ourselves on searches. We use it to make maps and this, that, and the other.
All right, you talk a little bit fast, Twila, so I'm going to slow you down. What did you say it is called? CalTopo?
Yes, it's CalTopo, and it's an app that we download as a team. Anybody can get it, but we use it as a team. We can go on there. We'll create a map for the person that we're looking for, and we'll put areas on there, which on this one you can't really tell because it's so much stuff on there for coverage. All that colored in that you see has been covered. I think the green circles on the outside there, I could be wrong, but that may be helicopters. And then can you zoom in on that a little bit, DutyRon?
I could go back here. Hold on.
And that guy there that you seen, that's Ken with the EMA. We met him. It was actually, he's the one that coordinated and put this search together.
So this is pretty zoomed in. So
you see the little dots and the question mark and stuff like that. That's where people has been out there walking and they've come across something, and they need somebody to double check it. I don't want anybody to take what I'm saying and misunderstand that. There's nothing on this map that you see right now that is of importance. This map here has been shared all over the news, and if it had anything of importance, it would not be out there. So these dots and stuff that you see is basically stuff that people's marked. It could have been a weird looking stick or whatever. We don't know what's marked because we're not inside of that. But this app, CalTopo, we will name it the person that we're looking for, and we'll mark these areas. We'll put people in these areas, and they turn on their tracks, and it will literally track and show every single where that person went. And that's what all that stuff is that's there. Those are people that was out there with their tracks on, that whatever the area that is, I can tell you without a doubt it's been covered just by looking at it.
You know, the thing of it is too, Twila and Dave, the reason this is so important, and I bring this right back into the average Joe or, you know, guy or girl that goes out there and tries to search for the missing. When you do a search on your own, I'm not poo-pooing searches on their own. I will never do that, because if we didn't have volunteers to search for people, some families would be in big trouble, right? So what I'm saying is, when you do a volunteer search where it's not attached to law enforcement, now you don't have this. Now you have no record of this. And Dave, correct me if I'm wrong. Your efforts and everything that you've done as a private individual does not go on to this CalTopa, and they don't know what you did or any abnormalities, anything that's abnormal that you saw in your searching. If there was something that, you know, struck a bell to you, or something that was like, this doesn't look good, when you guys get that, you're on the comms, or you're with the person that you're with, the law enforcement team, and say, hey, this looks like something we'd want to search. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dave.
So basically, you know, they're keeping track back at the command center. They're actually, and when we go out on searches, we use this ourselves. And it's two things: is that they can track us live to see exactly what we're doing and what we're covering, number one. And number two is that when we go out as an individual, we already have individual spots that we want to check. So we'll go ahead and put those individuals in there to check it. And before they leave the area, one individual will sit there and check the CalTopo to make sure that we covered every single thing in that search area, so there's no guesswork about it. And that goes to a master. That goes to a master copy. Then at that point in time, you know, you turn that over, Twila being the search coordinator, or whoever the coordinator is, myself. I still have Twila sit there and send it to law enforcement, because I don't know how to do the technical stuff. But then that way they have a record of every single, not only what was covered, but who it was covered by and what was found in and around that area. And then also, with that being said, then Ron, is that we can go back the next day. We say, okay, this has been covered. Let's go ahead and look outside the box. Let's recon some areas. So then we can do just like what you're highlighting there, is we can box certain areas on the screen on CalTopo, and then we can send into each individual team to those blocks, or give them, so they have their assignments throughout the day, so they don't even have to come back to the command center and come back and waste time. We can just go right there, right to it. Everybody knows what their position is, what resource. We use different colors for different, like I know that light blue and dark blue are always Danny in the drones. Sometimes I don't know what color I'm at. I have no idea, but you can tell exactly who's been where at any given time. So this tool that we've introduced into the search world, or was brought into us by the search world, is tremendous, because then that way you can literally look and see what we have covered and what still needs to be covered.
So this is, go ahead, Twila. Go ahead.
Cool about that is, if Dave's working one case in one state and I'm in another state, for an example, if we would have been in Utah and Dave wasn't there and I need him, I'm like, hey, look on the map and tell me this or tell me that. He can actually see my tracks live in action from wherever he is. All I have to do is share a little bit of information for him to get onto that map, and he can be, like he said, at the command post with law enforcement, and they can all keep track of where we're out there live as it's happening.
That's what makes it fantastic, Twila, is that communication device and that exchange of information, as I'm showing here on the screen. And this looks like their war room, whatever it is, a conference center, or I'm not familiar with the setup, but that looks like a huge screen where a lot of the executives and a lot of the commanders can go and look and see real time what's happening. And like you just said, this is something, if you have the app on your phone and you're using it, you can be in Alaska and Dave could be in Ohio or wherever you guys are. This communication is wide open. There's your daughter, Jaden. Of course, we always appreciate her being live and in the chat. Hi, Jaden Sisco. And I'm sorry, Twila, am I embarrassing you? This is right. Isn't this family right here?
My son, Jerica's
Yeah. Your son. Okay, I'm sorry. So I'm going to catch crap for that. I'm sorry about that. Jaden, I'm sorry. Jerica, yes, I know. And Dave, and listen, I always provide laughs for everybody. So Jaden's going to probably when he sees me for the first time, he's going to punch me in my shoulder. He's going to punch me.
Ron, what did you call me a girl for?
I'm sorry. And I should have known because I saw the picture. But I did see, I'm sorry. He's like, come on, man. Right underneath it is Jerica. They have brother and sister. Look, 1, 2. I apologize. So I'll make it up to you. Trust me, Christmas is going to come early for you. So Jerica saying lost is not alone. But listen, let's reel it back in. I had it because they were chatting it up in the chat, and I wanted to always recognize your family as they're in our chat, interacting with the community. But this is what a lot of the common folk don't see, and they don't understand that this is really important, because to have everything documented and dotting your I's and crossing your T's is a very big it's a big deal when it comes to a massive search effort. Now, Dave, I wanted to ask you, and this has nothing to do with this, but was this type of technology used in the search for Summer Wells down over in the Beach Creek community, Dave?
The drones were definitely used. Yeah, drones were definitely used. We didn't use. I don't believe that we used the remote controlled sonar unit down there, because all the ponds, by the time that we got down there, they were already taken care of. So basically, what we were up against was the terrain and the heavily wooded areas with the wildlife.
Right, and I just want to say this for the folks who are just tuning in: we are covering the search for Sebastian Rogers by EquuSearch Midwest. They were there 1 week ago today. They got into town on Tuesday evening or Tuesday afternoon. They spent all of day Wednesday last week, all day Wednesday, all day Thursday. They searched over 43 ponds and lots of ground searching as well. This is Dave Rader, the EquuSearch Midwest Director, up in the top left. And down below, the Twila Sisco is the search coordinator and drone coordinator. She wears many hats, and she's also a mother. As you know, there's 2 of her kids in the chat here, and one of them is really pissed at me right now. So I hope I can make it up to him real soon. Uncle DutyRon will make good on that, I promise.
Hey, Ron, can I go into what day one was like for us?
Absolutely, I would love to hear that.
All right, so our fearless leader down there in the bottom decided that we needed to get up at 5 a.m. So by the time we got in and we got everybody situated, it was probably 11 midnight. Had to get back up by 5 o'clock. Didn't even have breakfast. Went to the command center, and we went into the command center there that they had the mobile set up, and we got our assignments and everything, and literally we did everything we could during the day. The flights, we didn't take I don't even think we got lunch that day. We continued on. with not only flying, but with the sonar unit. The day still isn't done. We actually had dinner, we broke bread, but then we went back, got showers, and met down in the breakfast room at the hotel, and we literally sat there. Twila was running the locate for the drones. Marcy was sitting there doing the sonar unit with Genova. So, and then they would actually crisscross. They were Twila was looking at the sonar and vice versa. So I mean, and we didn't get finished until probably 11:30 midnight that night, and then to get up and do it all over again the next day. So I mean, our days are absolutely brutal when it comes to this. There's a lot of things that people don't see that go on behind the scenes. And the other thing that I want to say is that, if you, you hear a lot of things on Facebook and the false rumors. If you want to hear the truth,
I call it fake book.
yeah, if you want to hear the truth, come to DutyRon. That's just plain and simple. You want the truth. You want to know what's really going on. He's got the answers. We were on the ground, and we're basically trying to describe what we went through for 2 days. It was a long 2 days, guys. Trust me, long 2 days. 43 ponds, and they weren't next to each other. Let me tell you something. I had a brand new razor that I purchased to get us from point A to point B, and to do a little bit more recon to get to more places. I put 60 miles on this in 2 days, and that's doing roadsides, that's reconning, getting Twila from point A to point B. So there was a lot of moving parts, and I'll tell you another thing. This is the cool part, is that when you're established and you're trusted in something, they literally let us on day 2, let us go and do what we do best. And they still had the TBI agents, but they let us go outside of our box because they could trust us that we know what the hell we're doing and what to look for. So they literally let us recon, go outside of the box a little bit, and continue on. And that's that has a lot to say from where Twila is, because Twila was the search coordinator down there. She's the one who built that trust up between her and the agent, and that's huge. To have the Cajun Navy come in and do the bullshit that they did, and then you think that they're going to sit there and set the tone that this is how all search teams are. TBI's seen through that because of Twila, and our reputation speaks for itself.
And I want to piggyback off of that, Dave, because what you touched on there is very important. The difference between some of these different groups that are out there, and there's a lot of them. Listen, again, I'm not poo-pooing them, but what I'm saying is the way EquuSearch Midwest operates, and I'm going to go full screen with this for a second. The way this group operates is second to none. They're consummate professionals. They abide by the rules of law enforcement, and they do not go and do their own thing unless they get the green light. When I talked to Twila some 2 weeks ago, and I said, hey, Twila, could you come on a members only live with us and talk to us about the search for Sebastian? You know what she said to me? And I'm going to go back with all of us. You know what Twila said to me? I would love to, DutyRon, but I have to get permission from the TBI before I do that. I can't do it. And I wasn't looking to have gossip or anything. I was just looking to have everyone grounded in what was happening with Sebastian and what was happening in the thing, because I saw the fuckery that was going on. And excuse my language, folks. I saw the outright. It was embarrassing at that point 2 weeks ago. What I was seeing happening, I felt so sorry for this victim, this boy. I was not thinking about the parents. I wasn't thinking about the stepdad. I wasn't thinking about anybody but the victim. And I was just saying to myself, can I get you to come on to kind of give us the 411 of what's happening. And that's what Twila said to me. She said, DutyRon, I'd love to, but I got to get permission. Twila?
Yes, sir, that's correct. And DutyRon, you know, I love you and you're our law enforcement liaison, but I did that, you know, out of respect for Sebastian's case and out of respect for these TBI agents, you know, and like I have nothing against news reporters or nothing like that. You know, I had them reach out to me. I've had multiple people reach out to me, my own family that's following this case. And it's been so embarrassing that my own family has reached out to me and says, "Are you okay out there? Is people making threats? Are you safe?" You know, my mother, my aunt, they're probably in this chat and they were freaked out and worried because
Scared.
everything that was going on. I will tell you firsthand, if you are working hand in hand with law enforcement, and that goes for any organization that's out there, if you are working legitimately hand in hand with law enforcement, there will never ever be a situation to where you're receiving threats or this, that, and the other. I'm not engaging in none of the bad stuff. I'm just saying, when you work hand in hand with law enforcement has your back and they're going to be there, and all that craziness wouldn't going on. When I have my own family reaching out to me saying, "Oh my gosh, are you out there? Are you out there searching for Sebastian? Are you okay? Are you getting threats?" Like it's crazy. Like, I'm not knocking any other organization, but when things go like that, it makes it very hard for law enforcement to trust the ones that do work hand in hand with law enforcement. You know, I respect media and everything like that, but I will not do any kind of news, nothing. DutyRon, you're my absolute favorite in the world. And that was the answer I gave to you. And not because I was being mean or trying to be disrespectful. It's because it was the right thing to do out of respect for Sebastian and out of respect for TBI.
And you know that I'm on board with that. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't say to you, "Oh, Twila, come on, just do it." Because if I did that, then I wouldn't have the best interest of Sebastian in my heart. I would be a Jagaloon if I was doing that. So I go with this full screen to the people who are out there that are trying to benefit in some silly way off of the back of a autistic 15-year-old missing young boy. Shame on you. And again, we heard it from Ed Wallace, who's traveling outside of the country. He talked about these people that travel near and far and use their, loudspeakers and bullhorns and get out on their soapbox and start doing things. Things are, when you guys have law enforcement give you the blessing to go out on your own and start reconning, then you know things are aligned right. They now, like Dave said, trust your organization. They trust your track record. And don't think that TBI and FBI and all of these other agencies, before they commit and ask for you guys to come down here, they look at your history. They look at what you've been involved in and what cases you've covered and where you've gone to search. If there is just a little bit of negativity that surrounds your organization, they're going to be like, "Let's pump the brakes here. We really don't need them that bad." So that's why I'm so proud to be the law enforcement liaison representing you guys. We were able to broker communication between the Manchester Police Department in the Harmony Montgomery case and working now hand in hand with the lead detective. We are going to assist the Manchester Police Department in their search to recover the remains of Harmony Montgomery. And again, these are not folks that just said, "Yeah, come on in, come on, you're okay." Do you know what the lead detective said to me? "DutyRon, my police chief, Alan Oldenburg, watches you. Our commanding officer, the captain in my unit, watches you. I watch you. And we've seen Dave and Twila and EquuSearch on your channel. We want you guys to come and help us." That's the kind of things, and that's what makes this partnership, our friendship. We are like brothers and sisters. This is what makes us a cohesive team, is when you have somebody from the trade, and also you guys are teaching me things about search and recovery that I never even knew existed. You know, I look to Dave and Twila and Tony and the team. I know that any member of EquuSearch Midwest or Texas EquuSearch, if I reached out to them, they would be like, "Hey, DutyRon, how can I help you?" And that's what's great about you people, that you have hearts as big as the world, and the whole world is watching what you guys are doing. And listen, I'm not keeping track of wins and losses here, because every time in my eyes you go out and you volunteer your time and risk your life and limb to search for the missing, that's a win. That's, you know who that it's a win for? It's a win for the missing, because lost is not alone, and you guys live it, you breathe it, and you stand by it. So I'm honored and proud to be a part of you guys, and we're going to be doing a fundraiser in the next month or so, in probably in the month of May, once my shoulder's healed up and we're all good. And the money that we fundraise is going to go directly to these guys and girls when they go out and search. And Dave, I want you to just tell your audience, we've done this before. What were you able to purchase with the $15,000 or $20,000 that we fundraised for you in 2021? What kind of equipment do you have to play with in you, as you say, in your toolbox, in your toy box? That's what you call it, the toy box.
My toolbox. My toolbox got smaller, but that's okay. The funding that when we had this last fundraiser and from the family, your family, the community, it went a long way. Let me tell you, we watch our P's and Q's. We do things not haphazardly. We sit there and we do our homework on things. And we kind of knew that the direction was going to go to the technology end of this, and we wanted to make sure that we secured the technology end of this before anything. So basically, what our funding went for, and the majority of it went for, was the 2 drones, and again, in the computer that Twila has, it's state of the art. It's and then we talked to Shane, we talked to Gene, and we ran it by each other. We had many discussions about this before we pulled the trigger, and that's what we did. Was we bought the M3M for the ground disturbances. And then we also brought on board the thermal, which was a huge purchase for us with the FLIR. In the things that Shane and Gene and again, I'm going to be honest with you, I stepped out of the drone end of this because I can't wrap my head around the technology and how fast things are evolving. And again, I've got the best in the business with Twila as far as the search end of this, as far as the drone being the drone coordinator. She does a bang up job at keeping the boys in line, and the communication that she has with not only the drone pilots but also with Gene and Shane, and it just keeps evolving. And I think that there's probably within the next week or two, from what I understand, there's Shane has some big news as far as on the drone end of this, as far as on locate, on what it can do. And it's absolutely mind-boggling that, again, I'm colorblind, and locate runs off of colors, but now they're able to sit there and go into the thermal end of this and run that through locate. And I shouldn't even be speaking of this because it should be this one here that should be
Twila.
talking about that. So our goal is to make sure that we had the technology and we have the right people in place to move forward with that. And I can't think of anybody better that's in this country as far as drone pilots and the communication with the godfather of drones, which is Gene, and our neighbor to the north is Shane, as far as what a godsend we are to be blessed with some of the best on the planet, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
And, Ron, what he was speaking on just a second ago, and we just recently made this decision, to make it easier for Dave and less stressful, because we're all about taking whatever we possibly can off of Dave's hands. That's any teammate we have on the team. We want to make things easier for him and Linda so that they can enjoy themselves and not have to worry about anything. So now me, Tony, and Danny with the drones is our own. We're still within EquuSearch, but we're like a resource to EquuSearch, but we're inside of EquuSearch. We're our own individual thing now. So instead of, people contacting Dave or law enforcement contacting Dave, eventually in the coming days or weeks, there will be contact information out there for law enforcement to get directly in contact with me if it has something to do with the drones. And at that point, me, Tony, and Danny will make the decision and take off with the plan of doing this to take it off of Dave and Linda's hands, because his phone never stops. The call out phone never stops. And they deserve to get a break if they have us young chickens out here to do it. And Tony and Danny, let me tell you, between Tony, Danny, and Gene with these drones, we couldn't ask for any better drone pilots out there. These guys, they literally will look at me and say, Twila, what do you think? Or what do you want us to do? And then at that point, I look at them and I say, well, what do y'all want to do? And then we work together. We have never, me, Tony, and Danny have maybe had 2 or 3 hiccups throughout the couple of years that we've been doing this. But Tony and Danny ask me all the time, more so than Danny, but they're like, when you packed up and you came to Utah, was you not afraid to just come up and meet 2 strangers to be out there for a week? And I was like, no, because my director would never put me in a situation to be in harm's way or anything like that. And I think our goal with this is to try to make things as easy as possible for Dave. He can't see colors. So if we're, sharing these images back and forth with something that's blue, it frustrates him because he can't see what we're seeing. And what I see is different from Tony and Danny, because this program that Shane's come out with, that is developing, and all the new stuff that's coming out, and Gene's colorblind too. I cannot explain to you what it has done to my eyes, because, I have a hard time seeing at night or when it rains, but on that computer, it's like my eyes has programmed. Now, when you show me a picture, I'll see things that other people don't see. So
Wow.
the technology end of it and the program, oh, it's amazing. And like he said, there is stuff that's coming that's wild. Before the end of the world, we're going to be saving the world every single day as we are now.
That's awesome. And I love to hear the planning and the advanced planning and the things that are going on within your group. And it's always great to share that with our audience. I want to go back to Sebastian here, because that's what this live stream is about. Sebastian Rogers, 15 years old, 46 days ago, going on 47 days ago, he goes missing. The parents, everybody is looking at them and saying that their stories don't jive, and the stepdad, the mom, and I wanted to ask you, Twila, I know that you communicate with a lot of these folks, and I'm not going to ask you about intimate conversations or things of that nature, but how closely have you spoken with, if you care to talk about that, with Sebastian's mom, stepfather, father? They're very vocal. Well, I'll say his dad, Seth, is very vocal, is going all over YouTube and on the media. How much communication, and this is what I know that, and let me know in the chat if this is a question that you guys wanted to ask this. How much communication does EquuSearch get involved with these families and with this particular family? And where do you guys draw the line and so forth? But answer what you can. I know I might be putting you a little bit on the spot, but what kind of communication?
So when we get contacted by the family, most of the time, if we get contacted by a family member about their missing loved one, immediate contact with family starts right there. And of course, we refer them over to law enforcement, and law enforcement then has to give us approval, and then we'll talk to law enforcement. Then we go back to the family. If law enforcement calls us in on a case, me personally and Dave also, we always ask. I made sure it was 100% okay with the TBI agent that I'm working with. I'm not going to blast his name out there because I don't want people blowing him up, because I know his phone's already going crazy. But I literally asked this agent, "Are you okay? Are you okay with me going in and meeting the mother, the stepfather, the family, the biological father?" He was 100% okay with it. I did meet the mother. I did meet the stepfather. I will not give any opinions whatsoever, because I'm not going to sit here, judge, talk about them. They're humans just like we are. My responsibility is to try and, as well as my team, to find this child. We're not going to judge. We're not here to investigate. When I talk to these families, I tell them straight up, look, I don't get paid for what I do. I'm not an investigator. I'm just like you. I just have on a different shirt. I've got on different boots, and I'm going out here. Where would you like me to go to try to find your missing loved one? What do you think, where do you think I should go with my team to search? What do you think we should do? I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to badmouth the mother, the stepfather, or the biological father, because right now, judging them is not what's important. If everybody will take that negativity and dismiss it, share this kid's flyer, keep his name out there, pray and pray and pray, instead of giving negativity towards that family, Sebastian may get found and everybody out there may get along. For who knows? Maybe, I'm not sure. I'm not going to say this, but who's to say, the mother isn't afraid to go out there and search because she's been threatened. We don't know how we would feel in a situation. I know how I would act if one of my kids went missing, but as a professional, I also know what I would need to do. And I would probably have to step back and let law enforcement do their job. That's the only way a case is going to go. Outsiders may stumble across something and save the day with the missing person, but all this negativity towards these parents, I mean, that shouldn't even be important. What should be important is keeping this child's name out there, his face out there, passing out flyers. To sit here and assume we can do that all day long, and we can drive ourselves crazy doing that. But what's important is everybody working together to keep the peace, to try to find this child and bring him home for his family. And if anybody harmed him, that is law enforcement's job, not ours.
And I'm going to congratulate and clap it up for you, Twila. I can't clap because I got one hand, but that is 100% wholeheartedly. Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. Nobody should be trying to investigate these families, these family members, the mom, the dad, the stepdad. Nobody should be trying to figure out what they're up to other than the people who are investigating it. And when you conduct interviews where it goes into that law enforcement realm of trying to find out who's committed crimes in the past and now you're taking, you're a civilian. Now you're taking your role as a civilian. You're taking it one step too far. That job to determine who's guilty and who's not guilty, who's telling the truth and who's not telling the truth is not EquuSearch's. It's not DutyRon's. It's not Joe Q citizens. Our job is to advocate for the missing and to get their names out there, to talk about their cases, put it out on your social media platforms. But inside that description does not put a detail of interview and interrogation, because we're not trained to do that. You're not going to be going into a court of law and testifying if this person that you're interviewing turns out to be the suspect. So
And
that's the problem. That's where the problem comes in.
I will tell you and the whole world and everybody this, and TBI knows this because I've been in contact with him daily. I will tell you that the family was 100% okay with me and my drone pilots or our teammates, whoever was there to assist. I will tell you without a doubt, that family was okay with us literally parking in their driveway and doing whatever business we needed to do while we were there. They were okay with it. They wanted us to park there. They wanted to do whatever they possibly could to make us feel comfortable to help try to find their son. But out of respect for the family, out of respect for Sebastian, and out of respect for that neighborhood that has been strangers everywhere taking pictures and this, that, and the other, we took ourselves away from that area so that it would not draw any kind of attention. Because I will tell you firsthand, when I went over there to that house with our drone pilots, to officially introduce myself and let them know, hey, this is who I am and this is what we're going to do. Mr. Such and Such sent us over here. We're working hand in hand with them. They opened their home up and allowed me to come in. I had conversation with them. They were people just like me and you. And I let them know straight up to keep the attention away from y'all so that you can have some kind of peace while this investigation's going on. We're going to take ourselves on another street so that the attention's not there. While we were there, I cannot tell you how many cars was coming through that neighborhood taking pictures. One snapped a picture of me as I was getting in my vehicle, and I thought it was just completely disrespectful to take some pictures from somebody's driveway or their yard that's got a kid missing and put it on social media. Oh my God, who is this? Who is this? Whatever. I don't care if you know who I am. I don't care if you know that I was there, because I was there, but I wasn't there doing an investigation to this family, because my responsibility is to assist law enforcement and this family find their child and their loved one to bring him home.
Because that's your mission. Your mission isn't to, like I said, interview and interrogate. You're not there to solve a crime. You're there to find the missing, the actual victim. And we're talking about a 15-year-old autistic boy. And that's the problem. Listen, YouTube content creators will gladly invite family and friends to come on their show because it's going to get them attention. But for me, what is the upside to it? How's it going to help? Unless they're talking about, find my son, here's the picture, this is my son, he's missing, go and find him. All of the comments and the questions and the questioning where it goes into past crimes and things of that nature, that's not helping the current situation. And it's really an unfortunate situation. But I wanted to go and show some of the footage that was covered on this search from last week, because this is what you guys did. And I planned to play this and we got sidetracked. Put your questions in #DutyRon, #Dave, #Twila. They're asking a lot of questions I see in the chat. We love the questions, and I'm going to highlight some of the super chats and some of the starred messages. But if you have questions, #DutyRon, #Twila, #Dave. We're going to take your questions, and I thank you guys all for being civil in the chat. A lot of questions about drones going into caves. We're going to cover it all.
Breaking news, a massive search for missing teen Sebastian Rogers. It's underway right now in Sumner County. Multiple law enforcement agencies are out searching, including the FBI, the TBI, and sheriff's deputies. Sebastian has been missing for more.
Any of these people look familiar to you, Twila and Dave?
Yes, and DutyRon.
Well, I can tell you one thing, that is not me.
That's Tim.
That's Tim Fogel. And DutyRon, the guy in the brown jacket, I heard you speak of him on a video you did last week while we were out there. I can tell you that is one of the EMA canine handlers, and we were actually sitting there going over a map, and that's what I was doing with my phone in my hand. I was actually on that CalTopo app. You can see Beverly. That's my our teammate Beverly that you just had the mouse on. She was one of the searchers. That girl that you have the arrow on right now, badass woman. Like, she is bomb. Actually, she is super. She has superpowers. That's Genova. She and Marcy, which is not in this picture, is the one who did the sonar. This lady right back here, her name is Cassie, and she's actually a new member. She kicked ass on this search. She's seen animal bones from across the way and was like, "Is that Bones?" And I was like, "Oh my God, if that's Bones, I'm gonna kick."
She drove 8 hours to be there.
Yeah,
this woman right here.
She's up near Iowa. She's in Illinois, but damn near to Iowa.
I think she even had to try to like pull over or take a different route. Her and Beverly did in separate vehicles because of the storms that went through there. That's Tim Fogel. I believe he's in Kentucky. He got to search with us for a couple of hours the first day. But the rest of us, we were out there, and the guy in the brown jacket, he is a canine handler with EMA.
All right. I'm thanking you for
Sebastian has been missing
I'm
for
thanking you for giving faces to the names. All I had was you and Tim. And by the way, Tim reached out to me on Facebook and was like, "Thank you for upgrading me to Dave Rader." I can only wish I could be half of Dave Rader in all of his muscles.
Oh my.
But anyways, it's all good. I said better living through chemistry. That's how that happened when I was on heavy painkillers then. So it was pretty funny actually. Let's watch the rest of this because this is from last week when you guys were there searching.
more than a month now. Investigators have said there has been no evidence of foul play, but they are not ruling out anything. That brings us to today with the ongoing operation happening right now. Apparently, the search has been in Hendersonville.
Well, Nicole, good morning. So I'm told this is going to be a 2-day search, and the response we've seen this morning is just massive. So right now there's at least 10 agencies out here, totaling more than 100 people helping search for 15-year-old Sebastian. So this search comes one day after law enforcement held a press conference saying they would renew search efforts. True to their word, you can see from this video, it's happening here this morning. The Sumner County Sheriff tells News 2 they're looking along.
Is that like a food truck back there that I saw?
Yeah, they had breakfast sprung in to us that morning, and then they had lunch sprung to us. And as a matter of fact, one day that we came back, they knew we had been out there working super hard. It started raining and hailing at one point that we were out there, and they were these people that I can't remember the name of the truck, but they actually came in and brought us ice cream. And every single person that went up to that truck, that lady personally, she said, "Thank you and God bless you."
Wow. I love it. I love it. You know, with hundreds of searchers there, hundreds, arguably over 200, that's a lot of people to feed. And I'm sure that these people weren't charging money for the food. So it's a big, again, a big pay it forward. And it's all part of volunteering and giving. Some people can give food. Some people can give making flyers. Some people are bound to a wheelchair or maybe have just one hand and can go live and talk about these cases. So whatever you can do, like there's a lot of people who say, well, I can't really do anything. I'm homebound. I can't. No, you can share onto your social media platform the different flyers and the various information, updated, valid information. What can be hurtful is sharing misinformation, and misinformation is abundant. And there's people that talk about new breaking news. And listen, on my flyer, it says new news. The new news is that we're revealing tonight what you guys did as it pertains to searching for Sebastian Rogers. And nobody up until this point really had an inside look to what your team did. And that's why I think it's important here 1 week later, we're now talking about what you did and what you guys saw at the scene there. So let me just let the rest of this play so everybody can get a good look at what it was like out at Ground Zero for the search.
They're looking along the Long Hollow Pike area once again to make sure they haven't missed anything. We've seen law enforcement search through neighbors' yards, garages, as well as creeks here in this vicinity. Sebastian, who has autism, was last seen on February 26 when his parents told police he walked out of their Hendersonville home in the middle of the night. The 15-year-old has not been seen since. Now, just a little bit ago, the sheriff's office says that a pair of glasses that people were thinking belonged to Sebastian has nothing to do with Sebastian. They do not belong to him.
And that stirred up days of misinformation and people going crazy on the internet over it, hours and hours of live streams and all kinds of stuff. So I wanted to go to the chat and watch some of the questions. If you guys don't mind, another 10 minutes because we're over an hour already. Marilyn, thank you for becoming a new member. Sabrina, thank you for becoming a YouTube member. The Diva, always 17 months. She says she upgraded to silver and says, thanks to all you do. Much love. Thank you. We have a handful, probably maybe a little bit more than a handful, 10 or 12 platinum members. And Jennifer Nobles from Bakersfield, California, she was on the Billboard campaign with me she started it with Sincere and Classic, Orrin and Orson West. she's been a platinum YouTube member of mine for almost 3 years. So thank you to Jennifer Nobles in Bakersfield, California, for not only being a friend, but really being a part of this family, being a part of this community. Wendy, thank you for the super sticker. Muddy Paws says, was this level of search done within the first 2 weeks? If not, why wait so long? So the question from Muddy Paws, Twila, is, was this type of search done in the first 2 weeks? If not, why wait so long? So I'll let Dave and Twila handle this.
100% it was done the minute that child was, the law enforcement got to that house and needed to start doing what they needed to do. Yes, 100%. And I can tell you firsthand with the agent that I've been doing business with, along with another agent and the EMA, I can tell you that every single day since that child has went missing, they have been working. As a matter of fact, in the beginning, the search that they did was bigger than the one that we were at last week.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Are you saying the search initially was bigger, more than 200 members? And you're both shaking your head.
100%.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for clarifying that, because early on in this case, there were so many different cases going on. We had Riley over in another part of Tennessee, right? Missing. You guys assist or wanted to assist in that, but you were denied. And I was back and forth with the stepdad, Twila or Dave. I know that I think you spoke to the dad, but I spoke to the mom on Thursday night and the stepdad on the Thursday night, right, the night before he was recovered the next day on Friday. And
I actually talked to Ryan that morning. He returned my phone call first thing in the morning, and I think that the next phone call he got was he needed to get down to where his son was located, and I did reach out to them and right before they laid him to rest and let him know that this whole entire team from stem to stern was thinking about that family. And again, I'm not going to share the personal side of this as far as what he said, but he wished we could have assisted, but it wasn't going to change anything. But he wished that we could have went there and at least tried to help locate his son. So
And
it was it is what it is, but we were turned away, unfortunately, and sometimes that's how things go, unfortunately. But we move forward and we focused in at that point in time on Sebastian.
And as a matter of fact, on Riley's case, rest his soul, and I feel very, our team does send our condolences out to his family. I will tell you that my connections with our team's connection, but me personally spoke with a connection with the TBI that actually give me the contact information over for Metro to speak with someone in Metro about us assisting. I do want to kind of make it clear that we was not turned down by law enforcement. We're not going to go into details of how we got turned down because it could have been a simple misunderstanding. We don't know. But I will tell you that we wasn't turned down by law enforcement. But I was given contact information from an official to make contact with the other official for Riley's case. And unfortunately, we didn't get to go assist. We was ready to go, but we couldn't go.
Yeah, and again, I followed that case pretty closely when it came to us going there, and I know, firsthand, it was not the law enforcement that declined the invitation, but it was the it was another part of the team that was taxed with searching for Riley, and the family. That was the hardest part, having the phone call and the conversation with his stepdad and his mother. In the car, I was on speakerphone with them, and when I told them that we were turned down by I almost said it, but you guys can do the math and figure out who it was that said we don't need them. they were pissed off, like super pissed. But it is what it is. You can only offer, and we've had this happen. It happened with Sincere and Classic. They said, we felt like it would just be throwing darts at a dartboard. That they, we don't think that EquuSearch would be able to help. But then it turned out that they needed you guys to search for another case. And I said to them, the only way we'll go there is if you let us do some drone imaging for the boys. And I kind of brokered a deal with the California authorities there in Bakersfield. And I became friends with Sergeant Garrett and all of those guys in the squad up there in California. But that's the beauty of having somebody who's retired from the trade, myself, Ed Wallace. We can kind of broker the relationship. We can do that handshake with law enforcement. And I did it up in Manchester, New Hampshire, with the lead detective there. And he was just like, oh man, thank you for your service in with the World Trade Center. And we just hit it right off. So it was really, it's really good to have that. Let's go over to the starred messages again. Thank you for answering that. Mama She 23 says, Dave is so hot, but I'm so grateful for what he and the team do. Thank you for the $20 super chat. I agree. Dave is hot. He is hot. I would love to have his hair when it grows back in, when he gets the.
It's going to grow back. So just stay tuned.
I see it. The next super chat again comes from Mama She 13. She says, DutyRon, I hope you've recovered well. Still waiting patiently for you to hook me up with super hottie Dave. All right, so she had to slip it in a different way on the back end of that one. Thank you, Mama
She 13. Mama She 13 is very determined.
She is. She's a go-getter. Jeff Litweiler, good friend from Wyoming, sends in a super chat and says, I need a signed EquuSearch hat. God bless you all.
DutyRon, I want to interrupt with that comment because I will forget. Just hold on to that thought, and you may just get, what's his name, Jeff?
Yes.
Jeff, you may just get your wish because as DutyRon spoke of earlier, when we put our fundraiser together, when DutyRon gets a little bit better, we want to be respectful for him and make sure he's comfortable and healed pretty good. We got some things gonna go on that y'all may like, so you might just get a signed EquuSearch hat, but I'll sign it. Dave's not going to sign it.
There you go. It'll be signed by Twila. Sharon Creates, member for 20 months, says EquuSearch is awesome. I agree. I tend to agree. Here's DutyRon. If you want your questions answered, hashtag Dave, hashtag Twila, hashtag DutyRon. Nancy, thank you for being a member for 1 month. We appreciate you. Rose, thank you for being a member for 30 months. She said, member 30 months here. Thank you, Ron. Here's Jennifer, who I was speaking about before. Jennifer Nobles, moderator, a platinum member, and it's over 36 months. I love this family, DutyRon. I'm so glad we connected even under terrible circumstances. But here we are 3 years later. Great friends, much love and respect to you, EquuSearch Midwest, the best people ever. Tell me when you're ready for the fundraiser. It's coming in May. It's coming in May. And we'll be... Go ahead.
I feel the same way about Jennifer that she feels about us. She's absolutely amazing. Beautiful soul inside and out.
Amen.
Every single one of your community members are absolutely amazing. I mean, they are so engaging, positivity. This is why I only do your show, is because it's just, we know where everybody fits, and there is no BS. So you've got some great people here. I mean, just very supportive, heartwarming. If you're ever down and you see some of the comments, and it just makes you feel warm inside that humanity still does exist and that there are still good in this world. And this is the perfect example.
And Dave, I want to piggyback on what you're saying there. And I'm sorry, Twila, I'll let you continue. But what's amazing about what you just said is that it was the next thing that I was going to talk about, is that you and the team, Twila, and everybody involved in EquuSearch and in Texas EquuSearch and in any of these groups, but mainly I'm talking about you guys here tonight. you go through a lot of emotion on these cases. And Twila, you let it all out on the last live when we talked about Dylan Rounds, his remains being recovered. The emotion, you didn't plan for it to happen, but you were visibly shaken by the recovery of Dylan Rounds' skeletal remains in Lucin. And that was not something that you planned to do, but this is what a community does, is they comfort each other. And Dave, it's like you read my mind, because that's exactly what I was going to talk about our mental health and our well-being. And when you're around doom and gloom night and day, your phone rings all the time. The emails come in. And what are those emails? I need your help. My loved one is missing. I need your help. 20 years ago, my husband was killed. 20 years ago, my son walked out and never returned. My daughter is missing. These are the things that you get on a daily basis. And that's when the community that we put together, myself started with this, and then Ed Wallace came aboard in 2021. The community that we've amassed here are a group of people that have respect and dignity and care for not just the missing, but for the people who do the work that are out there. And that's why I'm so proud of the people that we have attracted, because when you're this type of people, like what we are and what we're all, everybody that's here, there's certain groups of people who don't like this. Like if you're into drama and to doom and gloom and, oh, did you hear that story? You're not going to get that here. So we don't attract huge crowds, because we're not giving you shock and awe. We're telling you the truth.
Quality.
Yeah,
quality.
It's quality over quantity. We're telling you the truth about what happens in these cases. And if you do want to hear the truth, this is a place. If you want to learn about crime scenes and evidence collection and the things that Ed brings to the table, this is a great place. So if you're not yet subscribed and you've hit that thumbs up, please consider subscribing and hitting the thumbs up now, so you can support great people like this and the thousands of others that we help along the way over the years. I've had search groups from the dive teams and, just you name it. My door is always open to promote great people who are searching for the missing. And I'm not just exclusive to EquuSearch Midwest. I support, and we send donations all the time to the dive groups and all the different people that are out there doing this. It's God's work. So
Absolutely. Amen to that.
Twila, anything? I cut you off, so I'm sorry. Do you remember what you were going to say?
Oh, I was gonna basically, we were all three thinking alike. This is the channel that I feel comfortable on with coming and talking to, because I feel like here we're not going to get attacked. I feel like that everybody here is so positive, and I get emails from different people on YouTube that says, hey, I'd love for you to come on my show and this, that, and the other, da 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 da. And I respectfully decline them, and I tell them, with all due respect, I have to respectfully decline, because the only place I will go, because I know we won't be attacked, I know that things that we say isn't going to get took out there and spread and misunderstood and this, that, and the other, because these people here, they're like angels. Y'all say that we're the angels, but in reality, y'all are the angels, because if it wasn't for people like y'all supporting us in a positive way and, putting these comments out here, I go on and I read these comments when I'm having bad days, and I'll put a heart there. It helps up here. So we're not the only ones here that are angels. You guys are our angels, because what you say and y'all being here to listen without, hounding us for questions or give me the inside scoop or this, that, and the other, that means more to us than any amount of money in this world. To know that me and Dave and our drone pilot, that he had to get to work, or any of our teammates, Gene, Shane, or whatever, can come on this channel and just debrief with y'all and give you information without it causing a big old, excuse my language, shitstorm. My kids watch this channel. I don't want my kids on here seeing a bunch of BS or garbage from all these people in the comments attacking their mother or attacking my team or my director. My kids want to do this. Dave's had to tell one of my kids, no, I don't want you to go on this search. I don't want this implanted in your head. My daughter that just turned 18, Jerica, that y'all see in this chat, last week she begged me, could she go? I would love more than anything for my kids to go with me, but I would hate for them to mess this up here, because you are not the same. You're not the same, and people like y'all are what helps us get through it. If I see comments on here for Dave, I'll send it to Dave so that it helps. If I just seen comments on here today from a live the other day, and I actually screenshot it and sent it to Dave, because up here I wasn't stable up here. That was the real raw emotions, like DutyRon said the other day. I can't fake that. That hit right here. It
Right.
hit Tony. It hit Danny. We've
That's
been
how
on the
invested you are in these cases. Your heart is in it. It's not just you're a machine, or you're not a cyborg. You're going there as a human being to search for the missing, and you can't but help but not get attached to it, emotionally. So
DutyRon is our angel. You guys are our angels, and we can't thank you enough for supporting us and just being there and having our back and not trying to destroy us and rip us to pieces. We're comfortable here. Y'all are our family.
the world is a better place with Dave and Twila's and all of the team, the many, many people and the thousands and hundreds of thousands of people who support you all. So I want to go and reel it back in with Sebastian here. Can these drones search in caves? Twila, can they?
Depending on what kind of cave it is, yes. Our pilots, I feel confident that our pilots can fly a drone in a cave. We were gonna fly drones in something similar, but it wasn't a cave while we were there. I'm not gonna speak on what, but we didn't do it. But I feel confident that our pilots can fly in a cave if it's accessible for a drone.
And Dave, I want to ask you if TBI or any of the search folks at the command center asks for your help, will you go back down into Hendersonville?
What time you want me to leave?
Question answered. So those were the two big ones that I saw in the chat, and I kind of knew the answer to that one.
Again, you're always ready. So, I mean, as far as, we'd never want to leave something undone. And if they invite us back, there's got to be a reason why we're coming back. And by God, that if we're Lord willing and able, absolutely, let's lock and load, and let's get this done. Let's go back again.
Let's get her done. Monique Preciado says, Twila, you inspire me to follow my dreams and be a good mama. Contribution to the world and our home front.
Thank you so much. I try. It gets hard just like it does for everybody. But good thing about this is I have some amazing angels that's right here that has my back no matter what. Dave, Linda, DutyRon, my teammates. If I'm having a hard time as a parent, they're right there. And what do you need? Sometimes I don't even have to speak of what I need, and they know and they talk to me. And I appreciate your comment. Thank you very much.
Here's one, and I know she meant Twila. Heaven Lee says, Twila, you are a beautiful lady. Just saying.
Thank you very much.
Lots of compliments coming in for the team here. I want to keep it to questions related to Sebastian. I know that I missed a bunch of them, so let me go back to some of these starred messages. Here's one from Nancy D. She sent in a $5 super chat. She says, why not check Boxer Socks Place? They own property with the family graveyard on it and the house. Question mark. Does anybody know? I don't even know what that is.
It's the Bauer Socks, and if I understand correctly, that is Chris's parents, but I don't want to say for sure. And to answer your question, Miss Nancy D, we search what law enforcement asks us to search, and picking out, with us being invited in by TBI, we go and search areas based off of their investigation and what they would like us to do. Right now, from everything, we know what y'all know, and right now there's no evidence whatsoever of anybody being a suspect. And if any area anywhere needs to be searched, there's no doubt in my mind that law enforcement would put us in that area to search it.
Bingo. Yahtzee. D Banks, thank you for being a channel member for 19 months. Wow, long time. Thank you at DutyRon and Ed Wallace for all you do. And I know she means thank you guys as well. Thank you so much, D Banks, for your friendship and your support. Monique is a member for 18 months. Is the search now considered a recovery? Question mark. And are they still hopeful he is alive? And I can answer that because, Twila, I'm going to let you answer too. But I watched a news report just tonight and I played it here on the show. They still said they are hopeful. Now, this is 47 days starting tomorrow, 46 days as of today that Sebastian has been missing. As the days go on, the percentages drop tremendously. And I'm a realist, and I say this: anything is possible, but is it probable? That is the question. I don't think it's probable, if he's out there without his medication for all this time, that he is still alive. But I do not know. Twila, I'll let you go on that one.
This is the way I look at it. I try to hold on to hope in everything that I do, and I try to hold on to hope until we actually come across remains. And I don't want to say if it's a recovery at this point, because there's nothing that leads to the recovery, if that makes any sense at all. There's no evidence that he's deceased. We don't know. They don't know. They're doing their investigation, and until I hold on to hope until he's found, whether he's deceased or alive. I'm holding on to hope.
Dave?
I always go back to the old saying is we don't know if he was abducted, but look at J.C. Dugard after 29 years. Look at the three girls up in Cleveland, Ohio. Look at Elizabeth Smart, 9 months. So, I mean, anything's possible just when you think that you're going to give up, and then all of a sudden miracles do happen still. So let's pray that, if somebody does have him, I hope that they're treating him well and come to Jesus and put him in a safe spot and let him come home.
Amen to that, brother. We always have to hold on to hope. And I said it on the last live stream I did with this on this story. We hope and pray, and we can always hold on to hope. This is just a little bit more footage of searchers in some of this thick. Can you guys describe what it looks like? A little bit of running water, and there's a gentleman on one side and then another gentleman on another. What are they doing here, guys?
It looks like to me that they're actually in some area. I don't know where, but it looks like wherever they are is pretty thick. And I will tell you, there was an area that we were in that was most definitely not accessible for humans, and Dave and Linda had to go up through it in his razor. That the briars was so thick. But this, imagine what this is going to look like in a couple more weeks when all that stuff is green. It's thick. There's briars. There's snakes. I believe that while we were out here this time, I didn't hear them speaking of snakes, but I think they may have seen snakes before because it was put out there, to wear snake guards or whatever. But it looks to me there may be a creek down there, and they're walking along the creek.
One on each side, and this, I'm assuming, goes into that Caltopo app, Dave, in Twila. Yes. So it looks like there's one there's one guy on one side of the body of water. Looks like a small little. I don't even know what.
Every person that you see, Ron, has their tracks on. So each one of those lines of spaghetti, as I call them, and as we call them, those are individuals. And
those could be canine handlers out there. That could be canine handlers, and the dog you just don't see because the dog's working. But looks to me that they're literally in some thick stuff searching, maybe on the creek banks or in the creek or something.
Baby Kisses says rattlers are out there. Rattlesnakes she's referring to.
Yeah, rattlesnakes, and they are most definitely out there for sure.
And here's Joey Brooklyn, a Brooklyn guy, chiming in with snakes and mosquitoes. It's always a challenge. Joey was raised in a concrete jungle, but he knows about this stuff because he does his reading. So I love Joey.
Joey's a good dude.
I love Joey Brooklyn, man.
I love Joey.
You asked Joey Brooklyn to come out on a search with you, even though he's got a lot of ailments, he's got a bad back and so forth. He'd be like, he'd light a cigarette up and he'd be like, "Let's go." So, Joey Brooklyn.
We'd make sure he gets something done.
We don't judge.
He's a badass, Joey Brooklyn. I play this just because I want people to see this was from last week, and this is some of the, this is some of the challenges that you have when you're searching such a wide area and all of the different possibilities. One of these guys could wind up either, breaking a leg, getting caught, or falling into the water, having a snake bite, having whatever. But if you're out there alone and not doing it with an organized group of people, like in other words, people who have safety protocols in place, and you have an emergency, who's got to respond to that? The police. So if there's people doing these searches on their own, when there's these, organized searches, now you're going to get a 911 call for somebody either injured or that needs assistance.
And not just that, that could be private property that people out there stirring around in, and then somebody's out there and they doing yard work and get spooked and turn around as in self-defense and pew pew or something like that. And I can assure you that when we went in, that law enforcement agency and TBI did a very good job of making sure that everybody in that community knew that they were fixing to do another massive search. So you're putting yourself in some very, very, very bad situations with going out there trying to search on your own by yourself or on private property or anything like that.
Twila, where was it that you told me that you guys were out there? Was it Summer Wells and a black bear showed up, or where was that you were telling me about that?
Yes, me and Genova, the girl that I showed you that was in that other picture that run the sonar, we was out reconning, and we went on this little dirt gravel road, just me and her. There's a big old mountain on this side, and then right here was a field. And we was like, is that a freaking bear? And sure enough, it was. It was across the field, way over there. And it ended up running all the way across this way, straight right in front of the vehicle. Like, if we were outside the vehicle, we would have been able to touch it. But yes, sir, it was on Summer Wells. We most definitely seen a bear. And we was so like
stirred up. It was this girl and this girl.
Yes, she's badass. She's great. She's been on the team for years and years and years. But yeah, me and her's just driving. Two little ladies just driving through reconning, and we see this bear out of nowhere, and we about shit our pants. No lie, we was so torn to pieces. I was like, Dave, oh my God, we just seen a bear. What do we do? And there was hardly no phone service. So if we wouldn't have been protected and people wouldn't have known where we were, they're not telling what would have happened.
I can tell you, she was packing.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, isn't that the gal that is always packing? On the Summer Wells search, I saw her with the side on in a holster, in a pancake holster.
She never goes anywhere without her Kimbo.
That's her. That was her, DutyRon. She had the braids on the side. That was her that was standing there.
Well, I want to say this, Genova. I want to meet you, and I want to buy you a drink if you drink. If you don't, I want to buy you a cup of coffee, because I love a pistol packing woman. So kudos to you, Genova.
Yeah.
Let's look at the chat quickly as we close up, because it's almost 2 hours. Dave, I know you always look at battery. What are we on? What battery percentage?
63%. So I'm just halfway there.
We could go to 4 a.m. We can go to 4
Absolutely.
Joyce Brown sends in a $50.
We'll get the third shift people in here.
Ed Wallace will wake up in Indonesia or wherever the hell he is. Joyce Brown, thank you for your generosity. Let me just finish these starred super chats. Lorraine, thank you for becoming a member. Muddy Paws, we answered that question, and thank you for your support. Curious Kiwi sent a gifted membership, one DutyRon member. Thank you for gifting. I'd like to give some memberships. Hey, who wants a free chance to become a member of Crime Time with DutyRon and Ed Wallace? I want to gift out 10 free memberships, but you have to do two things. Actually, 3. Let me go solo for you guys for a second. So put a 1 in the chat if you want to be a member. make sure you hit the thumbs up. I'm going to watch the thumbs up to make sure that they go up on this video, and make sure you subscribe here. That'll give you a chance to win a free Crime Time with DutyRon and Ed Wallace 1 month trial membership. And if you like what you see after 1 month, we encourage you to continue with your paid membership. A 1 year paid membership to Crime Time with DutyRon costs you $34 for the whole year.
Wow.
Our lowest tier level is $34 for the entire 365 days. I think that's a damn good bargain, and you get a lot of really good information and exclusives where I have Dave and Twila come on with the memberships when we talk. It's not a public live stream, it's a private live stream, and we have our educational sessions. You get to ask us questions one-on-one. We have just a sit and chat kind of members only live stream where you could come on and say, hey, DutyRon, what did you do during your career? What was some of the more fascinating cases? Hey, Ed, what do you do when you have a crime scene and there's multiple people that are shot and you have, blood all over the place? And Ed answers out these questions on these members only. It's a fantastic way to become a member by getting a free gifted membership. So make sure you hit the number 1 button. You make sure you hit the thumbs up and like and subscribe to this community. And if you're kind enough, share it onto your social media platform. Let's gift out those 10 memberships. Everybody ready to get a chance to win. Your ones are in the chat and they're all being recorded. I could see them flying through. Here goes the 10 members. Let's see who wins these memberships. You're hoping one of your kids get this, Twila,
Yeah,
right?
Jerica's like,
Look,
oh
there
my
she is.
God, Mom, I need to get on the hit. Look, there she is already.
And for God's sakes, please let me just sit there and say hi to Jerica and hi, Jaden.
Oh yeah, because Jericho was like, I need to be a member, Mom. Please do something. I'm like, you got
right.
some, go get it.
Keep the ones going because I'm going to do it one more time. And it'll be total of 20 memberships. Simi Sharp, you were gifted a membership. Congratulations. Let me see. Denise Hoyt was gifted a membership. Barbara George, again, a great friend, gifted a membership. Elena Gonzalez was gifted a membership. I had to slow the chat down to see it. Missy Thomas, congratulations on your membership. Marcy, is that our Marcy? She got a membership.
Marcy, last name.
I didn't say the last name. Scott,
I don't think that's the same one.
Marcy was gifted a membership by DutyRon. Let's see. Kim Stearns gifted a membership. Who else? There's a whole bunch of them here. Kathy says, I'm already a member and I'm proud. This is my only one I'm membership of. I'm not sure and I don't regret it. She said the only channel that she's a member of. I wish I could highlight that one. All right. There he is. Hold on. Look at the hair. Look at the hair on that kid. Oh, man. And he's a football player. He's going to kick my ass.
Oh, God, here comes the other one. Oh, no.
Hi, Jerica. So, yeah, I'm going to come down there. He's going to be like, I'm going to kick your ass, DutyRon. I'm sorry about that, kid. Listen, I'm old. I'm going to turn 60. Respect your seniors, right? If you want a chance at another membership, I'm going to give out 10 more. So keep putting those ones in the chat and give it a thumbs up. Let's get that thumbs up going. Let's see how many we have on the stream. Oh, almost 2,000 thumbs up on this live stream. So let's do it. Let's give away 10 more memberships. I love to give things away. I love to donate to EquuSearch Midwest. I have there, by the way, if you want to donate to EquuSearch Midwest, searching for the missing, that's what they do. I have their donation link linked below in the description. So please go into the description of this video. If you want to donate to directly to them, there is a donate button. I please encourage you to go. Every dollar counts. Dave, right? Every dollar counts.
Absolutely. I mean, it's, we really stretch our money. I mean, we really watch our P's and Q's. So, but again, a dollar, if you can spare a dollar, you get 100 people. That's a hotel room. That's a tank of gas for somebody. So, it doesn't sound like much, but a dollar really does go a long way, when you're a 501 for sure. And especially as much traveling as what we do. And again, the traveling, the in the technology end of this that we spend on. It's a game changer. That is for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Every dollar counts. And, like when you told me about your shoestring budget, when you told me about the amount of money that you guys need to operate on an annual basis, I almost fell off my chair because it was so little. It wasn't like it was a big number, but so it really is important. Twila, I gifted out 20 memberships and your children were not a part of it. I don't know why. They didn't win. But do they have gifting memberships enabled on their YouTube? They have to enable gifting memberships. So they have to go and look at their settings and make sure that they enable gifting memberships. So make sure that you have that enabled. If you don't have it enabled, then you won't get them. They do them randomly on Google. But again, the number ones in the chat, the thumbs up and the subscribing are things that we ask you guys to do to be to have that chance to get in on the gifting. So 20 memberships went out. A bunch of other people were gifting memberships. I appreciate that. Let's close this up with a quick overview. You guys spent 2 days down in Hendersonville, Tennessee, searching for Sebastian. You will go back there if asked to go back there. But you did spend lots of man hours looking at drone imaging, and you had Twila, your drone pilots were boots on the ground there taking imaging.
Yes.
At the search early on. How early in the search were your drone pilots down on the ground?
I don't want to speak of exactly what day, but we were out there pretty early. We wasn't there in the beginning, but we got there not fairly long after the fact.
Okay. All right. So you were there shortly after things happened. Lots of people in the chat saying, hey, I'd love to gifted membership. Again, I'll do another 5 before we end this out. So just keep on flooding the chat with the number ones and also flooding it with the thumbs up and subscriptions to Crime Time with DutyRon. Any other further questions maybe that I might have missed, Dave or Twila? And I'll go with you first, Twila. Anything that you might want to get out there as it pertains to searching for Sebastian Rogers? People are talking about the house. They're talking about the restaurant. Did you guys go to that Outback Steakhouse and look over there? Was there any need or reason for you guys to do that? Or can you talk about some of the places you reconned that day that you were able to go out and about, or no?
I'd rather not us not speak exactly where we went or even in the general areas. But I will tell you that we went to places that was of importance that, we needed to search. And the areas that we also went in was some of the areas that, law enforcement felt like we should do. We did what we were capable of doing while we were there, and we would leave in a heartbeat and go back as soon as they say, hey, we're going to be doing this. Would you like to come back? But I can assure you that we know for a fact where, like Dave says, we know where he's not at. And we just have to continue going and going and going and going until we find that perfect spot. And like I said earlier, we're going to hold on to hope that he's still out there alive. You know what I mean?
Amen. Dave, anything that I might have missed as it pertains to the searching? What were your thoughts on the group, the 200 or more members of the service and the volunteers from the fire and you guys? What was your take on that, those 2 days that you were there, and anything that we might have missed?
No, I mean the outpouring and from the EMA to TBI to FBI to all of the local law enforcement agencies, even the Secret Service was involved in this. For those of you who don't know that, there's one word that I can just leave with the community, and that's saturation. So if you think of saturation, you'll get your answer of what was covered. So there's, again, I'm going to be like Twila and not give up what was covered, but all I can tell you is one word is saturation, and one hell of a job for a 2-day event. To have those kind of numbers, law enforcement's being pulled from all jurisdictions and all over the state of Tennessee. That was a massive undertaking, and it was literally flawless. It was well ran, well organized, and everybody was there for the right reason, and that was to find anything that had to do with this little boy.
And people were saying too, like in the chat, they were asking, is the searching done? Are they done with searching? And to me, I saw Friday's coverage from the media. It looked like they were still out there searching. You know, it wasn't like what they had the 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday. But is this over? I mean, we can't really answer that question, whether they're going to stop searching completely or not. But I would have to say, when they have a need to search, they will be searching. And look, this is now a well-oiled machine. They know how to amass the troops. So if they need to have another massive search again and it's warranted, they'll do it again. But you know, they can't just continually search. We saw Summer Wells 13 days, Hawkins County Sheriff's put on, and Dave, you talked about it as it was like an army there. There was 200-300 people searching for Summer Wells, and that went on for almost 14 days. But it had to stop. It stopped at one point. So,
but I don't want to interrupt, Ron. But again, I don't want people to misconstrue searching and investigating. There's just because you don't see people out there looking, doesn't mean that the investigation has stopped.
Yeah, it goes on.
Absolutely, behind the scenes. So they're looking for places to search that makes the most sense. You can sit there and throw a dart at this point in time, but again, when you bring in this kind of manpower, it takes a lot. It takes away from other jurisdictions. It takes away for us to travel. So for them just to throw things together doesn't make sense. But I can guarantee you, and Twila can sit there and back me up on this, is that I guarantee you, just because you don't see them searching doesn't mean that they're not investigating for future searches to take place.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the people that the officials that we were out there with, canine handlers, TBI, FBI, as I said, I literally spoke to and shook the mayor's hand. They opened their arms up us. They let us in there and treated us as if they had known us. Very respectful, and let me tell you, these guys know what they're doing 100%.
And there's so many people out there that don't agree with that. But again, there's always going to be naysayers. But I'm going to tell you, I'm here to tell you, this is coming from somebody who's seen this search and seen how these people operate. So Twila is giving you a bird's eye view for somebody who's been there and is rubbing elbows and is shoulder to shoulder with the mayor, with all these different officials from the search groups and branches of state, federal, and local law enforcement. So, you know, I will go all day, any day with somebody who's been there that I know and trust, Twila with my life. Chickbait instead of clickbait sends in $2. Hey, Chickbait, I'm new here. Nice to meet you. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you too, Chickbait. And thank you for becoming a member. Chickbait not only sent in 2 beans, Chickbait or clickbait said, let me become a member while I'm at it. And look at this. DutyRon gifted 10 memberships. And SomeCloud says, my opinion is they over-disciplined and everyone that knew got out of town with it or has an alibi. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. We don't know exactly. Nobody has a crystal ball. I had somebody last night message me in the middle of the night. And listen, I respect everybody's thoughts, everyone's opinions. But I had someone tell me that they had a dream, a vision of where Sebastian is. He's with this and this one over here. Could you tell the TBI this? And I was like, no, you go and tell the TBI that. I'm not going to do that. We, as law enforcement, we don't act on dreams and visions. We don't engage, for the most part, with psychics and so forth. They want to go based on bona fide, verifiable information, not something that you dreamt about, not something that you saw in your dreams. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be rude, but that's the fact. It's not what I'm saying, it's how they operate. Liz G, and kudos to some of the psychics out there that are putting in some of the work. Liz G, thank you for being a member for 5 months. Fingers crossed Jerica gets one. It didn't work out. Look at her, she's sad. She's like, should I try it again? Should I do it one more time, Dave?
Man, her here and then him here. Like, Jada was
All right.
like, it told me I had to enable mine, so that's what I did. Like,
All right, so we'll do it. We'll try it again. Schmitty sends in $5. She says, my personal battery is at 5%, but you are filling it. Much love, Dave and Twila, angels on earth. Thank you,
Thanks,
Schmitty.
Schmitty.
Hope your mom is doing better. Her mom is having health issues, and so I'm sending prayers and strength to you and your mom. Super sticker from Chickbait. Chickbait is at it again. She's throwing her pocketbook at us and purse. DutyRon gifted 5, and look, Jennifer snuck in gifting 5 members as well. All right, the ones in the chat are going crazy because everybody wants a chance. Let's do it again. Ready to spin the wheel? All right, Dave, you think my credit card's going to go through?
Lock and load.
Jericho
right.
was like, I'm fixing to start my ones ahead of time.
All right.
Take a break and try again.
I'm
Oh,
giving
it
him a
locked
chance.
it froze on her. It
I'm
told her
giving
she
her
had
a
to take
chance.
a break.
I'm giving her a chance. All right. 20 memberships going out, and then I have to stop because I'm here we go. 20. Holy cow.
It told her she has to take a break and give it a few minutes.
All right. I just gifted it. 20. Boom. That's a lot of members.
I don't know if I got it.
Welcome
know.
to all the new members. It's going fast. Cheryl.
How fast that chat's going. Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Jesus. Dave, look at this.
I can't see.
I need that membership.
Oh gosh.
All right.
You're gonna have to pay. I'll pay
I tried
for
my
this.
best. All right, you guys are gonna. Unfortunately, 20 of them already went out, and I don't see it. And other people are gifting now. Other people are doing it. The Diva gifted 1 membership. Let's see how that goes. Who got it? Thank you, everybody, for doing that. And listen to the new members. Please come on into these members only. You can watch all the replays where you'll see Twila and Dave and myself and Ed. Over the course of years, we've had medical examiners, forensic anthropologists, helicopter pilots, drone pilots, the dog handlers. I've done every kind of members only live. You name it, we've done it. So this is what it's really all about here. Missing child, endangered, missing Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. I'm going to try to get this a little bit bigger. And this is coming right from the TBI website. These are some of the pictures of him, courtesy of the TBI. And I want to just continue to show these photographs. And we are going to end this by saying, please keep his face and picture out there. Sebastian Rogers, 15 years young, missing since February 26th of 2024. Amber alerts are out there and active. If you have information, if you see something, say something. This is what it's all about. Please continue to share this photo and get the word out there. We're going to continue to follow this case as it develops. And I want to thank Dave and Twila and the complete team of EquuSearch Midwest and EquuSearch in Texas. They're all God's angels. These guys are doing the work. They're doing God's work, as I say. Thank you to everyone who's gifted memberships, to the moderators, the replay viewers, the new members, the subscribers, the people who gave thumbs up, the folks who are kind enough to give super thanks and super chats after the live is over. Hey, some of you folks go out and buy Ed Wallace and I cups of coffee on the Buy Me a Cup of Coffee app. We appreciate you all. The Patreon, you men and women are definitely what makes this a great place, and we give thanks and praise to you. I want to go to Twila because ladies first. Final thoughts on Sebastian. Final thoughts on tonight's live stream. Twila, I'll give you the final say, and then we'll go to Dave.
Just like I always say, share his flyer, keep his name out there, try to keep the information positive if you're going to share anything, and always treat people the way you want to be treated and smile, because it just might make somebody's day. And thank you so very much for being so kind and generous to my teammates and me. And also, thank you for being so kind to my kids while they're in this chat and not putting crazy stuff out there. They're both of 18 now. So just thank you for everything that y'all do for DutyRon, for our team, and just treat people the way you want to be treated. Keep his face out there, share his flyer, and try to stay positive and hold on to hope.
Amen. Well said. Dave, over to you, brother.
That's kind of tough to follow, but again, if you want the truth, this is the only stop that you'll have the truth, and that's DutyRon, the community, the family. Again, we're very blessed, and we were put in each other's lives for a reason, and that's to spread the truth and to get information into the right people's hands. And again, if you see something, say something. And again, I can't, for all the missing. It's not just for the Sebastians, but it's for all the missing. And all the search teams that are out there and sacrificing time away from their loved ones and putting themselves into harm's way for people that they don't even know. That says a lot. And I'm not saying this just for myself, but this goes across not only this great country, but also around the world. Just look at all the people from that you have DutyRon from other countries and the support. And again, other countries have people that are missing. So God bless everybody who's doing this for the right reasons, and it's coming from the heart, and nothing else is driving them but the heart. So my hat goes off to you, and I nothing but love and respect for everybody that we come in contact with. Thank you.
Well said, Dave. Thank you so much. And I want to just go one step further and say thank you to everyone who's reached out as well to wish me well on the surgery and the recovery. You guys don't know. And I mean, Twila, you mentioned how much of an uplifting it is to see these positive messages. I get hundreds, thousands of them literally from people wishing me well on a regular basis. So thank you. I am first day into physical therapy, and it's been a rough go, and mentally, physically, and everything, because I'm a guy that is used to be on the go, out and about every day, and now I'm stuck inside here. My doctor, the surgeon, told me I can't go back to work until after May. I was so pissed off, and I don't think you've met anyone probably out there that was mad about not going back to work at almost 60. I was just like, damn it, I got to get out. I got to get out of this house. He said, listen, you don't want to have that surgery over again. So just sit back and relax. And when I tell you you're ready, you go back. But so thank you. The replay news, what?
Hate to cut you off, but I can tell you firsthand that he is going crazy being there, because he's learned how to play games on his phone. And I'm not going to tell you how, but I will tell you firsthand that I have experienced his spare time that he's got right now.
I do. I'm going crazy. Listen, speaking of crazy, here's Ed Wallace coming in from another country. And listen, this is unplanned. I'm ready to close it up. But guess who's here? The man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Ed Wallace.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's freaking it's 11 o'clock at night, for crying out loud. How are you, Ed?
Good. It's 12 hours different, so it's 11:15 a.m. here on Friday.
Where are you, Ed? Can you tell everybody where you are?
Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
He's in Malaysia.
I'd rather say hemorrhoids something. That was so hard.
Ed, we just finished.
Let me just go off the screen real quick to get a headset.
Okay. All right, Ed. We'll remove you. So Ed just showed up as we were wrapping this thing up. So we're going to wait for Ed to get a headset and come back on. But so what I was saying is the replay viewers, the moderators, and everyone who took care of the chat to keep it classy tonight. Thank you for that. The folks who who've gone that extra step to donate to EquuSearch Midwest. We appreciate you. Remember, there's two branches. There is EquuSearch Texas EquuSearch, and there's EquuSearch Midwest, which are these guys and gals and the team. They operate separately, independently, but they also do things together. But when it comes to donating, if you want to donate and fund EquuSearch Midwest, you got to go to the link. It's in the description there. So don't confuse them. A lot of people I know say, oh, I just donated to Texas EquuSearch. Tell Dave and Twila. And I'm like, well, it went to Texas. So make sure if you want to donate, and I'm not saying don't donate to Texas, because you can donate there too. They're doing great work. But these are the folks we have on here. Ed Wallace is back. What's happening, Ed? Thank you for joining. We just finished up a 2-hour live stream talking about the search for Sebastian that Dave and Twila went on. Any thoughts?
Yes,
and how long have you been listening?
Well, I got up. I got the notification in the morning that you guys were going live, and then I jumped into the chat and said hello to everybody. And then I ran downstairs, met my crew, had breakfast while you guys were speaking, and then I came back and saw you still on. So I said, let me jump on real quick so that I can say that I did another live from Malaysia this time, because I want to hit every place I go across the country. I'm going to do a live.
Excellent.
I don't know if I can live that long.
And travels for hours on end to get to these places, different flights and all kinds of craziness. I don't know how he does it, man, but he does it.
I'll tell you one thing. There's one thing I've always sat there, and when I was doing a lot of traveling, I would like wake up in a hotel, and I wouldn't know where the hell I was or what time zone I'm on. I am never going to bitch about that again in my life because of how you travel and where you wind up. So I'll zip it, and wherever I'm at was where I'm at, baby.
Well, I tell you what, though, it gives me a great appreciation for what we have back home. And every time I come home, I thank God that my grandparents immigrated here from Italy and Scotland and Ireland. Because people don't realize that, it's outside of the United States and some of the Western democracies, it's the haves and the have-nots, and there's no middle class. But I'm right behind me. If I open those shades and turn around, you'd see the two towers in Kuala Lumpur, where it was very famous towers here that were used in the movie Entrapment with Sean Connery and Catherine Zeta-Jones. So this place is very nice, very high end, if you will. Like right across the street, I'm at a high end. Right across the street from the hotel, there's a high end mall here with Gucci, Versace, you name it, it's all there. And well-to-do people around this part of the country where I am. But later on, I'll be going to other parts where I'm not so well off.
Well, I'll have to say this, and I won't show it without your permission, but you sent me some pictures today of your hotel, and it looks beautiful. It looks like a 5-star hotel.
It is. It's an American, I won't say the name of it, but it's an American brand 5-star hotel.
Would I qualify, would I fit the weight limit for like a carry-on bag to just be your carry-on, like inside your bag or something? I can do that. I'd be quiet. Yeah. I'd be quiet.
Ed, now that I have you here,
nobody puts Twila in luggage. Okay.
No.
She goes first class. She goes first class, and she doesn't go at all.
See that?
Okay. Anyway, let me just show you this because I got to run in a few seconds.
All else we polygraph. That's it. There you go. Ed, so I wanted to ask something of you from a crime scene perspective here, because it was a redundant question in the chat, and not that I forgot to answer it, but I didn't want to answer it because I wanted to yield to you on this. So people were asking, as it pertains to Sebastian Rogers' home where he went missing from, people kept asking in the chat, would law enforcement, when they went through that home, use luminol to see if there was any blood left behind or if there was any type of struggle? I know it's not a criminal investigation, but Ed, would that be something that they could use at Sebastian Rogers' residence, where they said he just disappeared from overnight? Or would they have to have cause to use that?
Well, a couple things. Now, it starts off as a missing persons investigation, okay? But then at some point you either have to get consent from the owner of the property, or in this case, the mother, to search the house forensically. Like if you're just doing a search for a missing person, I can't see anybody denying you consent. But then you have to turn your attention to the possibility that this is a crime and treat the house as a crime scene, because again, allegedly, this is the last place that he was known to have been seen by his mother. Okay, so when you do that, when you're doing your initial search for the person, you have to be mindful of any potential damage you may cause to forensic evidence in a criminal case. So you have to tread lightly. But you would have to have some, like for instance, if I would ask the mother in this case for consent to do a forensic search using alternate light sources and possibly luminol. Absent that, having no probable cause to obtain a warrant to do it, it could be problematic if she says no. Now, if she says yes, then the first thing I would do is a non-destructive examination of the room with a forensic light source. And then I would be looking for areas that may have seemed to have been cleaned up. Okay. And the light source can help me that. Now, also, if the light source turns like on a carpet or on a wall, where with my naked eye, everything looks okay, but then the light source turns these spots on a wall maybe, or spots on the carpet black, that could be an indicator of blood. And that it had been cleaned up. But then once I have that, then I go to the luminol, and then I would apply the luminol. Now, if the luminol fluoresces, chemical luminescence as opposed to fluorescence, if it reacts that way, then I would then go to another presumptive test, or I would cut that sample out of the wall, or swab that off the wall, or cut the carpet and then submit it to the lab to see if they can extract genetic materials.
So a warrant would not necessarily be necessary if the mom agreed to that forensic. And then somebody in the chat said that she mentioned on a news interview that they used the light source in the house.
Yeah.
To what you just
mentioned. Well, again, light sources doesn't show blood, because it's going to create a fluorescence. What blood does with a UV light wave is it absorbs it and turns black. So UV in the presence of blood will turn the blood black on any surface that it might have been wiped off of. But then you also give some kind of fluorescence for any of the cleaning fluids.
Uh-oh.
Mm-mm.
He's got a Twila. We have a Twila going on right now. So somebody again right away, Jessica says in the chat, as Ed is frozen, I'll just remove him for a minute. Jessica Johnson says that DutyRon, isn't it a criminal case now? No. Law enforcement didn't come out and say that it's a criminal case unless there was some kind of breaking news announcement. Jessica, I would say, what is your source for you saying that it's a criminal case? Because I did not hear from a legitimate bona fide law enforcement authority that this is now a criminal investigation. They have said all along that there is no criminality in this case. You might have heard that from some Jagaloon on YouTube or in a fake book chat room, but I did not hear anybody official. And if you did, please let me know, and I'll go and I'll verify it. I'll go and verify it. Ed, I'm sorry, you froze up, so we didn't get to hear what you said.
Okay, what did I last say?
Dave, what did he last say?
I think that you got the point across, then, and then all of a sudden it went. So the light would turn the blood black.
Right. And then once that turned black, then I would do the luminol. And if I got a chemical luminescence, a blue glow from the luminol, then I might do another presumptive blood test. And then I would take samples off the wall, take samples off the carpet or the bedding or whatever was giving me these indicators, and then submit it to the lab for analysis.
Yeah. So there's a process to it. People are saying in the chat that it was News 5 and then they backpedaled. You can't listen. And Ed and I say this till we're blue in the face. The news can be your best friend and your worst enemy when it comes to this stuff, because they are quick to respond to rumors. They're supposed to vet these things, and if it's not coming from a PIO or somebody from authority within the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations or the lead agency who's taxed with working this case, then they shouldn't be putting it out there. So shame on them, because as far as we're concerned, until there's a press conference called and said, and law enforcement says this is now a criminal investigation, until that time, I don't believe ungats that I hear, because in this case, it's so crazy, Ed.
It is, and you can see that it's a sheriff, right?
Yeah.
You can see Sheriff Colin Farrell is getting pissed off at the YouTube community and social media. So, hey, with that said, I got to run. But before I run, I just wanted to show you something. Like, you know, when I travel, a lot of the places I go, we have to, you know, rely on pizza to eat pizza because it's probably like the safest food you can eat in certain parts of the world. But they never have oregano and they never have garlic powder. So I have to bring my own oregano and garlic powder with me for the pizza. And in addition, I have to bring my hot sauce with me.
and he's got it all wrapped up with saran wrap so it doesn't leak his luggage.
Oh, you know what this thing does to your clothing if it leaks?
It's happened.
Forget about it.
Obviously, it's happened in the past. Ed, are you using your Samsung AirTags on
my bags? Yes, I track my bags all the way from New York to Korea, and then Korea to Kuala Lumpur. Yeah, they work great. Ron, thank you so much.
That was Ed's birthday present. I bought him a set of AirTags because his pistol, when he was traveling, here regular in the United States on domestic, they lost his bags with his gun in it. So he was like, I don't know where the fuck my gun is. So I was like, Ed, we're gonna get you some tags. So
yeah, my gun got some extra air miles that I didn't. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, listen, I got to run, guys. Thanks, EquuSearch.
Thanks, Ed. Safe travels, brother.
All right, you too. Love you.
We love you. All right,
love you more.
Wallace. All right, he added another 20 minutes onto the show, but who cares? We love Ed. I'd have stayed here for another 2 hours if he had the time, you know? But anyways, guys and girls, thank you so much for being here. I want to just say again, this is about Sebastian. Let's get his name and his face and keep it out there in a positive way. Let's stop with the Jagaloonish behavior. If you see people that are sensationalizing they're trying to benefit off of this young 15-year-old that's right now missing, as far as we're concerned, please do not partake in that nonsense. Let's send strength, prayers, and positive vibes out to the community, to his family, to everybody who loves him and everyone who cares about him in the international and national community. Thank you all for respecting Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And thank you all for supporting the good guys and girls like EquuSearch Midwest. Thank you, Dave and Twila, for being here. On behalf of all of us, I want to say good night from New York City. And thank you. Peace, everybody.
Thank you.
See you soon.